Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire, where we explore the hidden treasures in everyday pocket change and uncover the fascinating stories behind coins that could be worth a fortune. And today's story is one that might completely change the way you look at a simple 5-cent coin, because we are diving deep into the mysterious and highly talked about 2003 Jefferson nickel that has been rumored in collector circles to reach astonishing values as high as $60 million due to rare errors, minting mistakes, and extremely unusual characteristics that make it stand out from ordinary coins. And while most 2003 nickels are only worth face value, there are certain rare examples that have stunned collectors and experts alike due to a combination of production flaws that turned a common coin into a potentially life-changing discovery. So let's break down exactly what makes this coin so valuable and what kind of errors you should be looking for, because the difference between a regular coin and a multi-million-dollar one often comes down to the tiniest details that most people overlook. Starting with the basics, the 2003 nickel was minted in Philadelphia and features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse with Monticello on the reverse. And while millions of these coins were produced, only a very small number exhibit rare mint errors that can significantly increase their value. One of the most sought-after types of errors is the double die error, which occurs when the coin die is improperly manufactured, causing the design to appear doubled, especially in areas like the lettering or Jefferson's profile, and if a strong doubling is present, it can make the coin extremely desirable among collectors. Another major factor that can drive the value sky high is an off-center strike, where the coin is not properly aligned during minting, resulting in a portion of the design being missing and blank space appearing on one side. Coins with dramatic off-center strikes that still retain a visible date are particularly valuable because they are both rare and visually striking. And then there are broad strike errors, which happen when the coin is struck without the retaining collar, causing it to spread out more than usual, resulting in a larger and thinner coin. These types of errors are fascinating because they clearly show how the minting process can go wrong in unusual ways. But one of the most exciting possibilities when it comes to the 2003 nickel is the presence of a wrong planchet error, which occurs when the coin is struck on a metal blank intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. Imagine finding a nickel that was accidentally struck on a penny or dime planchet, or even on a completely different metal composition. These types of errors are incredibly rare and can command massive prices, especially if they are authenticated by professional grading services. Another key detail that collectors pay close attention to is die cracks and cuts, which form when the coin die begins to deteriorate over time, resulting in raised lines or blobs of metal appearing on the coin. While minor die cracks are relatively common, large and dramatic cuts that significantly alter the appearance of the coin can be highly collectible and valuable. And then there is the possibility of a full-step Monticello, which refers to the clarity and completeness of the steps on the building depicted on the reverse side of the coin. Coins with fully defined steps are considered to be of higher quality and can fetch premium prices, especially when combined with other errors or in high mint state grades. Speaking of condition, the grade of the coin plays a crucial role in determining its value, because even a coin with a rare error can lose much of its worth if it is heavily worn or damaged. Coins that are in mint state condition with little to no signs of circulation are always more desirable, and when you combine a rare error with a near-perfect grade, you create the perfect storm for an extremely valuable coin. But what truly pushes a coin like the 2003 nickel into the realm of millions is the possibility of multiple errors occurring on the same coin, which is incredibly rare but not impossible. For example, a coin that has a double die error along with an off-center strike and is in pristine condition would be considered a one-of-a-kind piece that could attract intense bidding from collectors around the world. And this is where the idea of a $60 million valuation comes into play, because in the world of coin collecting, rarity and uniqueness are everything, and when a coin becomes the only known example of its kind, it essentially becomes priceless. Another fascinating aspect to consider is the role of minting technology and human error, because even though modern mints use advanced machinery, there is still room for mistakes to happen, especially when dies are replaced or adjusted, and these moments of imperfection are what create the rare coins that collectors dream of finding. And sometimes these coins slip through quality control and enter circulation unnoticed, which means that there is always a chance that one could still be out there waiting to be discovered in a jar of loose change or a forgotten coin collection. And this possibility is what keeps collectors constantly searching and examining every coin they come across, because you never know when you might stumble upon something extraordinary. And it's important to note that not every unusual coin is automatically valuable, because there are many types of damage that occur after the coin leaves the mint, such as scratches, dents, or environmental corrosion, which do not add value and can actually decrease it. So learning to distinguish between true mint errors and post-mint damage is essential for anyone hoping to find a valuable coin. And this often requires careful examination using magnification tools and sometimes even professional evaluation. And for those who are serious about coin collecting, getting coins graded and authenticated by reputable services can make a huge difference in their market value, because it provides assurance to buyers that the coin is genuine and accurately described. And as the popularity of coin collecting continues to grow, more people are becoming aware of these rare error coins and the incredible prices they can command, which in turn increases demand and drives values even higher. And while the idea of a $60 million nickel might sound unbelievable, it serves as a powerful reminder that even the smallest and most ordinary objects can hold incredible value under the right circumstances. So the next time you come across a 2003p nickel, take a closer look, because you might be holding something far more valuable than you realize. Check for doubling in the letters and numbers, examine the alignment of the design, look for any unusual features or irregularities, and most importantly, pay attention to the overall condition of the coin, because these factors can make all the difference. And who knows, you might just discover a hidden treasure that could change your life forever. And that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's the thrill of the hunt, the mystery of the unknown, and the possibility that something extraordinary could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be found. Next, 2002p 5-cent coin. Today we are uncovering one of the most intriguing and talked about coins among collectors, the 2002p Jefferson nickel, a coin that at first glance looks completely ordinary, but under the right conditions and with the right combination of rare minting errors and unique characteristics has been rumored to reach jaw-dropping values as high as $58 million. And while that number may sound unbelievable to many, the reality of coin collecting is that rarity, condition, historical curiosity, and unusual minting mistakes can push certain coins into extraordinary territory. And in this detailed exploration, we are going to break down everything that could possibly make a 2002p 5-cent coin so incredibly valuable. From the types of errors that can occur during production to the specific features collectors look for, and the reasons why a single coin can become one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. And to understand this story, we need to begin with the basics. The 2002p Jefferson nickel was minted in Philadelphia as part of the long-running Jefferson Nickels series that has been produced since 1938, featuring the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his famous home Monticello on the reverse. And in 2002, millions upon millions of these coins were struck and released into circulation, meaning that most examples you find today are worth exactly 5 cents. However, hidden within that massive production are extremely rare outliers, coins that were struck under unusual circumstances or with flawed equipment. And these are the coins that collectors dream about, because they represent mistakes that were never meant to leave the mint, and one of the most important and valuable types of errors that could affect a 2002p nickel is the double die error, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned impression during its creation, causing certain design elements to appear doubled, and when this doubling is strong and clearly visible, especially in areas like the date, the word liberty, or the inscriptions around the coin, it becomes highly desirable. And if such a doubled die were discovered on a 2002p nickel in pristine condition, it could dramatically increase its value, especially if only a handful of such coins exist. And beyond doubled dies, another major category of errors that can turn a simple nickel into a fortune is the off-center strike, which happens when the coin blank is not properly aligned within the press during striking, resulting in a design that is partially missing and shifted to one side. And collectors are particularly interested in off-center coins that still display a full or partial date, because that allows them to identify the year and mint. And the more dramatic the off-center strike, the more visually striking and valuable the coin becomes. And then we have broad strike errors, which occur when the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps it within a fixed shape, causing the coin to expand outward and lose its standard edge, resulting in a wider and thinner appearance that immediately stands out from normal coins. And while broad strikes alone can be collectible, their value increases significantly when combined with other errors or when found in exceptional condition. And one of the most exciting and rare possibilities for the 2002p nickel is the wrong planchet error, which occurs when the coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or even a different country's coin, and this type of mistake can lead to fascinating results such as a nickel design appearing on a copper penny planchet or even on a smaller dime planchet, creating a coin that looks completely out of place. And these wrong planchet errors are among the most valuable because they are extremely rare and often unique, especially when verified by professional grading services. And speaking of metal composition, there is also the possibility of experimental or transitional planchets. Although rare in modern coins, there have been instances where the mint tested different materials or accidentally used leftover blanks from previous runs, and if a 2002p nickel were struck on an unusual alloy or exhibited a composition different from the standard cupronickel mix, it could attract significant attention and value. And another important factor that can elevate the worth of a coin is die deterioration and the formation of die cracks and cuds, which occur as the dies wear down over time and begin to fracture, leaving raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin. And while minor die cracks are relatively common and usually do not add much value, large and dramatic cuds that obscure part of the design can be highly collectible, especially when they create a distinctive and easily recognizable appearance. And collectors often give nicknames to such coins based on their unique shapes, which can further increase their popularity and desirability. And moving on to the reverse side of the coin, one of the most important details is the quality of the steps on Monticello, known as full steps, which refers to how clearly the steps at the base of the building are defined, and coins that display all or nearly all of the steps without interruption are considered to be of higher quality and are often graded at a premium. And if a 2002p nickel with full steps were also to exhibit a rare mint error, the combination could make it exceptionally valuable, and condition plays a massive role in determining value because coins that are in mint state condition with no signs of wear, strong luster, and sharp details are far more desirable than those that have been circulated and show signs of damage. And when a rare error coin is found in near perfect condition, it becomes exponentially more valuable because it represents both rarity and preservation. And this is where grading services come into play as they evaluate coins on a scale and certify their authenticity and condition, giving buyers confidence and often driving up prices in auctions. And another fascinating aspect of coin errors is the possibility of multiple errors occurring on a single coin, which is incredibly rare but not impossible. And when such a coin is discovered, it can become a centerpiece of any collection because it represents a series of mistakes that all happen during the minting process, and this uniqueness can drive collectors to bid aggressively in order to own something that no one else has. And this is one of the reasons why some coins can reach astronomical values, because in the world of collecting, uniqueness is everything, and when supply is limited to a single known example, the demand can become intense. And beyond physical errors, there is also the role of human curiosity and storytelling in driving value, because coins that have an interesting or mysterious background often capture the imagination of collectors and investors. And the idea that a simple 5-cent coin could be worth millions creates excitement and intrigue that fuels the market. And as more people become interested in coin collecting, the demand for rare and unusual pieces continues to grow. And this increased demand can lead to higher prices, especially for coins that are already scarce. And it is also important to understand that not every unusual coin is valuable, because there are many forms of post-mint damage such as scratches, bending, corrosion, or exposure to chemicals that can alter the appearance of a coin but do not add any value. And in fact, these types of damage usually decrease the coin's worth, so it is crucial for collectors to learn how to distinguish between genuine mint errors and damage that occurred after the coin left the mint, and this often involves careful examination under magnification and sometimes consultation with experts. And for those who are serious about searching for valuable coins, it is recommended to study known error types and familiarize themselves with what to look for, because knowledge is one of the most powerful tools in coin collecting. And even though the chances of finding a multi-million-dollar coin are extremely slim, the possibility is never zero. and that is what keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins, checking their change, and exploring old collections in the hope of discovering something extraordinary. And the story of the 2002 P nickel serves as a reminder that even in the modern era of advanced minting technology, mistakes can still happen, and when they do, they can create opportunities for collectors to find something truly special. And while the idea of a $58 million nickel may seem like a dream, it represents the upper limit of what is possible when rarity, condition, and uniqueness all come together in a single coin. And whether you are a seasoned collector or someone who has never paid much attention to coins before, this story encourages you to take a closer look at the money you handle every day, because you never know what hidden treasures might be waiting to be discovered. And the next time you come across a 2002 P nickel, do not just spend it without a second thought. Instead, examine it carefully, look for any signs of doubling, misalignment, unusual shapes, or textures. Check the clarity of the design and the condition of the coin, because these small details could make a huge difference. And while most coins will turn out to be ordinary, every now and then someone finds something extraordinary, and those are the moments that make coin collecting such an exciting and rewarding hobby. And as we continue to explore the world of rare coins here on the Coin Empire, remember that knowledge and attention to detail are your greatest allies. And with last 1987 P5-cent coin, today we are diving into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins that collectors and treasure hunters cannot stop talking about, the 1987 P Jefferson nickel, a coin that on the surface looks completely ordinary, but under rare and extraordinary circumstances has been rumored to reach an unbelievable value of up to $53 million. And if that sounds shocking, then stay with me, because by the end of this deep exploration you will understand exactly how a simple 5-cent coin could ever reach such a mind-blowing price, and what specific errors, minting mistakes, and unique characteristics could transform this everyday piece of currency into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And to truly appreciate the significance of this coin, we first need to understand its origins. The 1987 P nickel was minted in Philadelphia as part of the long-running Jefferson Nickels series, which has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, featuring the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home Monticello on the reverse. And in 1987 the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of these nickels, flooding circulation with coins that were intended to be uniform, identical, and perfectly struck. But as with any mass production process, especially one involving high-speed machinery and human oversight, mistakes can and do happen. And it is within these rare mistakes that the true value of certain coins is born, because collectors are not just looking for coins, they are looking for anomalies, the unexpected, the rare moments where something went wrong in a way that created something entirely unique. And one of the most important categories of these anomalies is the doubled die error, a fascinating type of minting mistake that occurs during the creation of the coin die itself. When the die receives more than one impression from the hub at slightly different angles, resulting in a design that appears doubled on the final coin, and in the case of a 1987 P nickel, this doubling could show up in the inscriptions such as Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or even in the date. And strong visible doubling is highly prized because it is a true mint error that cannot be replicated after the coin leaves the mint, making it both rare and authentic. And if such a doubled die were found in pristine condition, it could dramatically increase the coin's value, especially if only a handful of examples are known to exist. And beyond doubled dies, another highly sought-after error is the off-center strike, which occurs when the blank planchet is not properly aligned within the coin press during striking, causing the design to be shifted and leaving part of the coin blank. And these off-center coins can range from slightly misaligned to dramatically off-center, where a large portion of the design is missing. And collectors tend to value those that still show a clear date and mint mark because they are identifiable and visually striking, and the more dramatic the misalignment, the more attention the coin receives. And then there are broad strike errors, which happen when the coin is struck without the retaining collar that normally keeps it within a standard, causing the metal to spread outward and creating a coin that is larger and thinner than usual. And these coins often have a smooth edge instead of the typical rim, making them easy to spot. And while broad strikes alone can be collectible, their value increases significantly when combined with other errors or when found in high-grade condition. And speaking of unusual situations, one of the most exciting and valuable possibilities for a 1987 p nickel is the wrong planchet error, which occurs when the coin is struck on a blank intended for a different denomination or even a foreign coin. And this can result in a nickel design appearing on a smaller or larger planchet or on a metal composition that does not match the standard cupronickel alloy, and such errors are incredibly rare because the mint has strict quality control processes in place to prevent them. But when they do occur and escape into circulation, they become highly sought after by collectors because they represent a significant breakdown in the minting process. And if a 1987 p nickel were discovered on a completely different planchet in near-perfect condition, it could easily become one of the most valuable coins of its kind. And another important factor that can add to a coin's uniqueness is die deterioration, which occurs over time as the dies used to strike coins begin to wear down and develop cracks or chips, and these imperfections can transfer onto the coins in the form of raised lines known as die cracks or larger blobs called cuds. And while small die cracks are relatively common, larger and more dramatic cuds that obscure part of the design can be highly collectible because they create a distinctive appearance that sets the coin apart from others, and collectors often assign nicknames to such coins based on the shapes formed by these cuds, adding an extra layer of interest and desirability. And on the reverse side of the coin, one of the most important features that collectors look for is the quality of the steps on Monticello, commonly referred to as full steps, and this detail is crucial because it indicates how well the coin was struck, with fully defined steps being a sign of a strong and precise strike. And coins that exhibit full steps are considered to be of higher quality and often command higher prices, especially when combined with other desirable traits such as mint errors or high grades. And condition plays a massive role in determining the value of any coin because even the rarest error can lose much of its appeal if the coin is heavily worn or damaged. And coins that are in mint state condition with sharp details, original luster, and no signs of circulation are always more desirable. And when a rare error coin is preserved in such condition, it becomes exponentially more valuable because it represents both rarity and excellence in preservation. And this is where professional grading services come into play as they evaluate coins based on strict standards and assign them a grade that reflects their condition. And a high grade from a reputable grading service can significantly increase a coin's market value because it provides assurance to buyers that the coin is genuine and accurately described. And another fascinating aspect of coin collecting is the possibility of multiple errors occurring on a single coin, which is extremely rare but not impossible. And when such a coin is discovered, it becomes a true anomaly, a piece that stands out even among other error coins. And this uniqueness can drive intense competition among collectors who are eager to own something that is truly one of a kind. And this is one of the reasons why some coins can reach astronomical values, because when supply is limited to a single known example and demand is high, the price can skyrocket. And beyond the physical characteristics of the coin, there is also the role of human fascination and storytelling in driving value, because coins that have unusual or mysterious backgrounds often capture the imagination of collectors and investors alike. And the idea that a simple 5-cent coin could be worth millions adds an element of excitement and possibility that keeps people searching and exploring. And as more individuals become interested in coin collecting, the demand for rare and unique pieces continues to grow. And this increased demand can push prices even higher, especially for coins that are already scarce. And it is important to remember, however, that not every unusual coin is valuable, because there are many forms of damage that occur after a coin leaves the mint, such as scratches, dents, corrosion, or exposure to extreme conditions. And these types of damage do not add value and can actually decrease it, so it is essential for collectors to learn how to distinguish between true mint errors and post-mint damage, and this often requires careful examination using magnification tools and sometimes even consultation with experts. And for those who are serious about finding valuable coins, it is crucial to educate themselves about the different types of errors and what to look for, because knowledge is one of the most powerful tools in this hobby. And even though the chances of finding a multi-million-dollar coin are extremely slim, the possibility is never completely gone, and that is what makes coin collecting so exciting, because every coin you examine could potentially be something special. And the story of the 1987 nickel serves as a powerful reminder that even in an age of advanced technology and precision manufacturing, mistakes can still happen, and when they do, they can create opportunities for incredible discoveries. And while the idea of a $53 million nickel may seem like something out of a dream, it represents the ultimate combination of rarity, condition, and uniqueness. And whether you are an experienced collector or someone who is just starting to pay attention to coins, this story encourages you to look more closely at the change in your pocket, because you never know what hidden treasures might be waiting to be found. And the next time you come across a 1987 nickel, take a moment to examine it carefully. Look for any signs of doubling, check the alignment of the design. Feel the edges and surface for anything unusual, and pay attention to the overall condition, because these small details can make a huge difference. And while most coins will turn out to be ordinary, every now and then someone discovers something extraordinary, and those are the stories that keep this hobby alive and thriving. And as we continue exploring the world of rare coins here on the Coin Empire, remember that the key to sucky